Okay, I'd like to call to order the January 28th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting. I'd like to ask everyone to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item is the action of minutes from January 14, 2021, the County Planning Commission hearing. Is there any changes, additions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that the Planning Commission, approve the minutes from our January 14, 2021 meeting.
A second?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion carries. Do we have any citizens' input at this time? Okay, if there's no citizens' input, I'd like to move to our 905 item, public hearing to consider general plan conformity, GPC 12-10, and mitigated negative declaration based on initial study, IS 12-27. The project applicant is the County of Lake Department of Public Works. Proposed project, bridge replacement on First Street over Clover Creek. The project is located on a community maintained right-of-way located on First Street between Rice Street and Washington Street, Upper Lake, California, adjacent to APNs 027-195-09, 027-197-05, 027-196-01, and 027-221-11.
Good morning, Planning Commissioners. So I prepared a presentation, so I'm gonna go ahead and share that. Let's see. Do it. Okay, so I'll be going over the general plan conformance GPC 1210 for the proposed location on located on Clover Creek Bridge located on First Street. The project location will take place in the center of 4 parcels over Clover Creek Bridge on First Street in Upper Lake, California. And you can see it's like right in the center of the county right away over the Clover Creek. So these are the list of permits that the applicant will need. The Department of Public Works is requesting approval to replace an existing T-girder bridge over Clover Creek, located on a county maintained road on First Street with a reinforced concrete box culvert. The project will need additional permits approval as well as one from the Planning Commission. And this includes the following list listed on the screen. Each permit request by the following agency has its own requirements that the applicant must satisfy prior to any construction of the bridge. California Department of Transportation is one of the responsible agencies. The existing features, the existing bridge constructed in 1930 is a 39 feet long, 31.5 feet wide, 2-lane bridge with speed limit of 25 miles per hour. A warning sign indicating that the existing bridge is narrow bridge is present at both approaches to the existing bridge. According to Caltrans structure inventory and appraisal report included in the bridge inspection report on the existing bridge, the deck geometry of the bridge was appraised as basically intolerable, requiring high priority of replacement. And because of this rating, the bridge is classified as functionally obsolete. The project proposes to replace the existing bridge with a new triple 12 feet by 8 feet reinforced concrete box culvert. The existing bridge would be widened to 43.5 feet to accommodate two 10 feet wide traffic lane, 5 feet wide shoulder, 2 feet wide sidewalk, and 2 concrete barriers. The general plan designation is resource conservation, surrounded by low to medium density residential designation, and the zoning within the proximity are single to two family residential family. The proposed improvement will ensure safe circulation for growing residential and commercial development where the general plan is designated as low to moderate density residential. The bridge currently do not meet current road standards per Caltrans rating, but the proposed project will satisfy these standards and ensure safe circulation for the growing population within the area. The objective is to improve public safety and to provide for a permanent structure that has long-term value for the county. The existing bridge is structurally deficient and requires replacement, and the county should continue to upgrade the road system to reduce traffic accident, improve circulation, and maintain its physical condition in conformance to the transportation plan. The proposed project supports this objective laid out in the general plan. In addition, it will be engineered and updated to meet current county road standards per Caltrans sufficiency rating. Lake County Department of Public Works worked in cooperation with Caltrans and various agencies to meet the road design standards to satisfy all local, state, and federal requirements, as well as performing all of the necessary requirements to satisfy the NEPA-CEQA requirements. So the objectives is to improve public safety and to provide for a permanent structure that has long-term value for the county. The existing bridge is structurally deficient and requires replacement because of the existing bridge do not meet current Caltrans standard. The bridge was structured and built by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the 1930s. The existing concrete bridge width is too narrow. All the girders have vertical cracks due to tension stresses from bending moments. These vertical cracks were reported in 1999. The existing bridge has concrete bridge railings with no approach railings. The proposed project would result in the replacement of an existing with a new box culvert and is designed to pass the 50-year and 100-year design storms. The replacement bridge will provide a safe and smooth passage for traveling public, and because the proposed project will satisfy these standards and ensure safe circulation. The environmental can be reviewed extensively regarding air quality, biological resource, cultural resource, geology and soil, hazards and hazardous materials, hydrology and water quality, noise, public service, and transportation. The project itself will not significantly impact these issues. However, mitigation measures shall be implemented prior and during the development or construction of this project. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission take the following action to adopt a mitigated net deck for replacement of Clover Creek Bridge and report that the replacement is in conformity of the county general plan as mentioned in the staff report. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
Thank you for your report. Does any of the commissioners have any questions?
No.
I have a question. Was anything noted about where traffic is going to be going for like a an alternative route?
Yes, there is a plan for that. There's I don't know the proper term, is it CMS? That will be sent out, I think, a month prior, and it'll have a detour.
Okay.
Does any other commissioners have any comments, questions?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'd like to open it up to citizens for any questions or input.
So at this time, we don't have any public participants in the Zoom room. I can go through the motions if you would like, but everybody is actually staff and established with co-hosts, so they all have the power to unmute themselves at this point.
And we have no active participants outside as well.
I've also checked e-comment, and there are no comments e-comment for this item.
Okay, then I'll close citizens' input and bring it back to the commission. If somebody would like to entertain a motion.
I'm ready to entertain a motion if everyone else is on board.
Sure.
Okay. In regards to the proposed mitigated negative declaration, I move that the Planning Commission find that the general plan conformity GPC 12-10 for bridge replacement over Clover Creek applied for by Lake County Department of Public Works on property located on county maintained right-of-way on First Street at Upper Lake, California, adjacent to APNs 027-195-09, 027-196-01, 027-197-05, 027-221-11 will not have a significant effect on the environment as a mitigated negative declaration and shall be issued with the findings listed in the staff report dated January 21, 2021.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
A second.
Can I get a roll call vote, please?
I was muted. Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Motion so carries.
In regards to the general plan of conformity, I move that the Planning Commission find that the general plan conformity GPC 12-10 for bridge replacement over Clover Creek applied for by Lake County Department of Public Works on property located on county maintained right-of-way on First Street at Upper Lake, California, adjacent to APNs 027-195-09, 027-196-01, 027-197-05, 027-221-11 is in conformity with the Lake County General Plan with the findings listed on the staff report dated January 21, 2021.
Do we have a second? Thank you. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Motion so carries.
Okay, then we're ready to move on to our 9:15. It's a public hearing to consider general plan conformity report for land exchange between the County of Lake and the State of California for the purpose of affordable housing development. Lakeport Army Land Swap, general plan conformity 21-01, GPC 21-01, and categorical exemption 21-05, CE 21-05 on 1431 Hoyt Ave, Lakeport, California, further described as APN 003-046-75.
Good morning, Planning Commission and members of the public. My name is Tokara Nicole Thomas, and I'm Deputy Director for Community Development. And today I'll be bringing before the General Plan Conformity Report, the Lakeport Armory Swap, the land exchange between the County of Lake and the State of California for the purposes of affordable housing development. The Board of Supervisors has directed staff to take the necessary actions to facilitate a property swap of county-owned vacant and undeveloped property to the state of California for state-owned property for development of affordable housing. The state-owned property located at 1431 Hoyt Avenue, Lake Point, California, described as the Lakeport Armory, will be exchanged for county-owned vacant and undeveloped land located at 15387 18th Avenue, Clear Lake, California, for the purposes of developing affordable housing within the county. Since the Lakeport Armory is located within the jurisdictional boundaries of the County of Lake, a general plan of conformity report for the exchange of property was completed to ensure consistency with the general plan. As part of the necessary steps to complete the land swap, the City of Lakeport will also complete a GPC for the county-owned property simultaneously before the project can move to the next phases. As the development of affordable housing in the County of Lake is a high priority of the state of California and the County of Lake as outlined in the housing element of the Lake County General Plan, staff recommends that the Planning Commission report that the property swap for the purposes of developing affordable housing is in conformance with the Lake County General Plan. I will now provide some more details about this proposal general plan conformity report. This project began January 15, 2019, so it's been long in the running, when California Governor Gavin Newsom signed Executive Order N0619, directing several departments to identify and prioritize excess state-owned property for sustainable, innovative, and cost-effective housing development to address California's shortage of affordable housing. As part of this initiative, the state initially identified the Lakeport Armory, a state-owned property, as an eligible site for future affordable housing development. The state, working with the County of Lake, determined that swapping the state-owned Lakeport Armory for the county-owned vacant and undeveloped property would directly facilitate development of affordable housing, which, as you all know, is a desperate need within the County of Lake. Per Government Code 64502A, if property is to be disposed of, it should be determined that the Planning Commission shall render a report as to the conformity with the adopted general plan. And as the Lakeport Armory lies within the jurisdictional boundaries of the county, a general plan of conformity has been completed to ensure that the project is consistent with the Lake County General Plan. And today we will walk through how this proposed project is in conformity with the general plan. Specifically, Chapter 4, the housing element of the Lake County General Plan, which was just recently adopted and certified in 2019, specifically identifies adherence to the state housing goals as a top priority and continues on to outline local housing goals under Section 1.0, Housing Goals and Policies of the Housing Element. This proposed property swap is for the express purpose of facilitating affordable housing and as such is consistent with the countywide as well as the state housing goals as outlined in our general plan. Under Section 1.0, State Housing Goals, the housing element goes on to state, according to California's statewide housing plan update, it is the goal of the state to ensure all Californians the opportunity to obtain safe, adequate housing in a suitable living environment. Additionally, the State Department of Housing and Community Development has established the following four primary goals: provision of new housing, preservation of existing housing in neighborhoods, reduction of housing costs, and improvement of housing conditions for special needs groups. This property swap directly facilitates the provision of new housing stock within the County of Lake, as the county-owned land conveyed to the state will be used for affordable housing. On July 20th, 2020, the State of California, DGS, issued a request for qualifications to create an affordable housing development on the county's undeveloped property located at 15837 18th Avenue, Clear Lake Avenue. Remember, as I stated earlier in this report, that county property will be swapped for the Lakeport Armory. As the state, via request for proposals for developers, identified that a minimum of 50% of the developed units must be deed-restricted affordable units, this project is consistent with the general plan which adopted the statewide housing goal because it will contribute to the provision of new housing. It will help preserve existing housing and neighborhoods because we'll be adding new housing to the housing stock so people will be able to utilize those new units and then continue to utilize the existing stock. It will also reduce housing costs as housing availability is a direct function of supply and demand. Housing cost is a direct function of supply and demand. If we put more housing stocks in the, put more units in the housing stock, increases supply, that directly decreases prices. The housing plan continued to goes on in section 2.0, local housing goals. In addition to adhering to the state housing goals, the county further recognizes specialized needs of the local housing environment. The County of Lake furthers the following goals aimed at addressing the local needs. Establish better private-public partnerships, specifically with nonprofit organizations dedicated to providing affordable housing, and establish procedures to make county surplus and tax default properties better available for the provision of affordable housing. It continues to go on and say goal HE1, new construction, to encourage new residential development in suitable locations that meet the projected need of all economic segments of the community. Policy HE13, support affordable housing. The county shall encourage and support affordable housing for all economic segments within all communities. And policy HE15, attraction of affordable housing developers. The county shall seek to attract affordable housing developers to Lake County from throughout North California. Exchanging the Lakeport Armory with the county-owned vacant land is directly consistent with the aforementioned goals, policies, and activities of the housing element of the general plan, as the land exchanged to the state will be developed as affordable housing with a minimum of 50% of the units designated as affordable housing. Additionally, this initiative will create additional housing units in the county, which is a direct function of supply and demand, as I mentioned earlier. Additionally, furthermore, this project will also encourage new construction, as well as directly increase the number of affordable units in the county. Finally, designating the Lakeport Armory for a land exchange with the state to develop affordable housing directly creates better partnerships with public and private partners, including but not limited to the state, the city of Lakeport, public entities via the RFP process, all for the express purpose of creating affordable housing. This one project will be a snowball effect. We'll create new affordable housing. Developers will learn more about Lake County. They'll learn more about how the county and the state works together to facilitate developable housing, which in effect will encourage more developers to come to Lake County and will make them know, they'll hear our story about how awesome it is to develop affordable housing in the county because we have a process that is efficient and we have other partners at the table. Now, moving on to the environmental review. The California Environmental Quality Act requires agencies to evaluate the environmental implications of their actions. Categorical exemption 15183, projects consistent with general plan, allows for a streamlined environmental review process for projects that are consistent with the general plan. This review of the property sought for consistency with the general plan is categorically exempt because there are no project-specific effects which are peculiar to this project, as the GCC is a review of the property swap and this review is not the actual property swap. Recommendations. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission report that the exchange of county-owned property located at 15837 18th Avenue, Clear Lake, California, APN 010-04301, for the state-owned Lakeport Armory, 1431 Hoyt Avenue, Lakeport, California, for the purposes of creating affordable housing in conformity with the Lake County General Plan, based on the following findings. The state of California has proposed to exchange the Lakeport Armory for vacant, undeveloped, and unused county-owned land for the purposes of affordable housing development. Staff has reviewed the property exchange for consistency with the general plan and finds that the property exchange for the purposes of affordable housing is consistent with the general plan. The property swap has been reviewed and is consistent with the objectives, goals, and policies of the housing element of the Lake County General Plan, specifically the statewide and local goals for the development of affordable housing within the County of Lake, Goal HE1, Policy HE13, and Policy HE15. And finally, the review of the property swap is categorically exempt via 15183, as this is a GPC review of the property swap. The property swap has been found to be consistent with the general plan, as it is for the express purpose to create affordable housing in the County of Lake. That concludes my report, and now I'll be available to take any questions or comments.
Do we have any questions from the commissioners?
No questions, Mr. Chair. It sounds pretty straightforward.
It's definite, I just want to take the time to thank Takara for the detailed report. I think a lot of people in the community are really excited to see something like this happen. And I agree with the snowball effect. If we can just get one project rolling, streamline the process, it's really going to be a huge incentive for people to come here and invest. So thank you, Takara.
Thank you.
Any further comments from commissioners?
I also wanted to thank Takara for that report. It was very informative, and I'm really excited to see more development here for affordable housing. So thank you again. That was perfect.
Okay, we're going to open this up for any citizens' input.
All right, I've sent a unmute request out to the Zoom room floor. If you would like to make a comment, please unmute and state your first and last name.
Is there any e-comments?
No, there are no e-comments at this time.
Okay, I'll close citizens' input. If there's nobody who would like to speak, bring it back to the board. And so we're looking to recommend action here. Okay, would somebody like to make that recommendation, or do you want me to just read the recommendation?
I'm not sure, Mr. Chair, which language we would use. Is there a, do we have to make a motion unlike with, as we did with the first item of business?
If I may, there are two sample motions in the staff report. One is for the categorical exemption, and then I'm trying to get, and one is for the general plan of conformity.
Huh.
I don't have that.
All I've got is the BOS memo.
Yes, so if you go to Granicus,
Sorry, Takara, it looks like you ended up muted there.
no worries. Am I unmute? All right, hold on. I'm going to share my screen as well. So if we come here, so I'm going a little fast, so my apologies if anyone gets a little seasick. So if you click on the memo, and then that opens up a new tab. And then if you scroll down and click for full text, and then you have those at the bottom. We changed it a little bit this time with the way we uploaded the item. I apologize for that, not giving us a heads up.
Commissioners, have you located the motions?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
And I also have it on the screen too.
I have the motions in front of me if you want me to share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please do.
Thank you, Trish.
Does someone want to read that, or would someone like me to read it?
Go for it, Commissioner.
All right, let's see. Trish, I'm using your screen, so bear with me. I move that the Planning Commission report that the review of the property exchange between the state of California and the County of Lake for property located at 1431 Hoyt Avenue, Lakeport, California, further described as APN 003-046-75, and further described as the Lakeport Armory as proposed by the County of Lake County Administrative Office in the state of California for the purposes for the purpose of developing affordable housing is in conformity with the Lake County General Plan with the findings listed in the staff report dated January 28th, 2021.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, can we get a roll call vote?
Sure. Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
and Commissioner Price,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carries.
There's also another categorical exemption motion that needs to be read as well. And
You got
voted
it.
on.
I'm on it.
Thank you.
I find that the Planning Commission for the categorical exemption CE 21-05 for property exchange with the state of California, property located at 1431 Hoyt Avenue, Lakeport, California, and further described as APN 003-046-75 for the purpose of development of affordable housing will not have a significant effect on the environment, and therefore a categorical exemption shall be approved with the findings listed in the staff report dated January 28, 2021.
We have a second.
Second?
I second.
Can we get a roll call vote?
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Price,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carries.
Okay, I'd like to note that the applicant or any interested person is reminded that the zoning ordinance provides for a 7-calendar-day appeal period. If there's a disagreement with the Planning Commission, an appeal to the Board of Supervisors may be filed. The appropriate forms and applicable fees must be submitted prior to 5 p.m. on or before the 7th calendar day following the Commission's final determination. Okay, can we move to untimed staff update? If there's any. Okay, any office news?
I don't have anything except that, just wanted to give a shout out to the CDD department. We've been going through a lot of changes. The Board of Supervisors, as you all know, closed the courthouse to the public on January 19th, I believe, and we've been working on our COVID action plan. It's yet another change, and the team is just taking it in stride. They've come out with a lot of really cool responses, trying to figure out as much as possible to be electronic as possible. Just want to note that we've been updating our website, just putting a lot of communication out there, working on a lot of cool new things like an appointment system, working on things like a phone tree to help with the phone call volume. We have the capability to now accept building applications online via Acela. So that's up and running. We've always had the ability to accept code enforcement complaints. So now we have that complement for building applications. And, I just really want to particularly highlight the building safety team and the planning team. They've just taken yet another change in stride and come up with some really creative ideas. And really I want to share my screen really quickly just to show some of the website changes. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So if you go to community development, and then if you click on planning, it leads you to the planning division homepage. Have a lot of information about how to actually get some of your questions answered, who to reach out to. Created some very specific email inboxes. Get a lot quicker response from the team now. FAQs about how to tell which permit is appropriate for your project. How to view your zoning. And this has always been on there, but this is actually kind of cool. I'll just take a few seconds to walk through this. Let's say you want to know what can you do on your project. Just click on come up here to the layers, turn on zoning, and if you just really click any parcel, it will automatically send you to the zoning ordinance for that parcel So then you can start trying to read through and figuring out like, oh, this is an allowable use. I can do this on my property. That's one of our top questions that is asked. And, you know, we have this really cool resource that's the website, and we weren't using it to its full capability. So now we just, you know, kind of drilling down on that information and providing it to the public. So, you know, information on our cannabis permitting process, information on the application, how to, you know, get some consultation, general questions, and then really quickly to go to how to access Acela. This is a little bit clunky, and we are working on it, but if you click on code enforcement, and then if you scroll down to the complaint form, it'll lead you to Acela, and you can click on complaints if you want to file a code enforcement complaint, or if you want to create a building application. One word to note, you do have to register for an account in order to submit an application, but if you register one time, that's it. You can go through, submit your building permit application, view the status of your permit application, submit documentation, things like that. So just really wanted to highlight some of the cool things that the team is coming up with in response to the closure of the courthouse. And that is all that I have. I think I said I didn't have anything, and then I went into a whole long spiel. So sorry about that. I just really want to highlight the team. It's very exciting for me. You know, they're coming up with some really cool, unique responses to the ever-changing environment. And, you know, change is hard, but the team is taking it in stride and just really just rising to the challenge and, you know, rising above the challenge, really. So I just really wanted to say kudos and tell everybody to pat themselves on the back.
Looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just echo that. Scott DeLeon, director, and I'll tell you, I've used this analogy before. I'm not sure if I've done so with all of you, but the staff has heard this many, many times, and this is kind of like building the plane while you're flying it. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but that's really what we're having to do here. And as Takara has pointed out, deal with changing conditions, you know, COVID restrictions and other things. The staff is, you know, balancing working from home, working part-time here in the office, and also trying to provide the service to the community and keep projects moving. And they have just done amazing work. It's been frustrating, but they're really pulling together and doing a great job. So I too would like to express my appreciation for all of the staff, and appreciate all of you this morning. And we're really working on getting more projects to your commission. And Takara has really challenged our planning staff to get some projects ready and get them to your commission. And you're going to be seeing some changes here very, very quickly in the numbers of projects that you're going to be seeing every meeting. So if you have any questions for us, we'll be happy to try to answer them. But for now, thank you. And we're just going to keep grinding.
Scott, just a comment from me to you and Takara. As far as I'm concerned, without the COVID interruption, you continue to make this feel normal for the commissioners, and the process hasn't changed. There have been some hiccups along the way, but I can't say that it feels different to me. So that means you guys are doing a good job as far as I'm concerned. I'm the one who delayed the start of the meeting today, and I apologize. I'm on a local nonprofit board with Danielle Saperis, who's the Calpine Government Affairs Manager. And I had to host a Zoom meeting for our board the other day. Calpine always hosts it. And I don't know why I came up as Calpine visitor today, but I apologize for the delay.
No problem.
We'll let it slide.
Thank you. It's a better picture to look at than my face.
Well, I'd like to thank the whole department, the CDD, Takara, and Scott. That was very informative for me because I had just told some people to look at GIS and to look at the serpentine soils. So that integration there is very important, especially for cannabis, because a lot of cannabis cannot pass testing if you're in serpentine soil. And then there's also very limited uses to what you can do construction-wise in serpentine soils. So again, someone looked for it, they couldn't find it. Now I see that it's now available right through the planning website. I think that's perfect. And again, thank you for all the hard work that your whole department has done up there, and really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, do we need a motion to adjourn or just, how does that work?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that we adjourn the January 28, 2021 Planning Commission hearing.
I second that.
Do we have a second? Do we need a roll call vote? Or is it good? Close the meeting.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we need roll call for that.
Okay, thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much.
Bye.